anybody ever heard someone say, "You're crazy, stop being so crazy. Oh my God, you're so emotional. Oh my God, you're crazy. You're such a crazy woman," or something like that. And so emotions, when we us women, you know, we're so, because we're women, somehow we have the right to have emotions. It's something over the thousands of years that women are emotional, right? It turns out that men are also emotional. Men also have emotions. There's just this bias, right? When we talk about men are supposed to be like this, women are supposed to be like that, and if men are too emotional, they're gay. Like somehow there's something wrong with that. Or we don't know, or if a woman's not emotional enough, she's, you know, like a man, right? And so when a person says that you're crazy, basically, most likely you can have a lot of compassion for that person because they don't really know how to be around you, you being emotional, you showing emotion, or you having all these feelings come up out of your craziness, right? And so that person doesn't feel comfortable with themselves, and they're not in touch with that much feeling. And all you're feeling is causing them to feel something, which does not make them feel comfortable. And that lets you know that they cannot be actually comfortably vulnerable with themselves, and they are not able to expand and feel and be intimate with their emotions because they cannot be that for you. That lets you know that they cannot be that for themselves. And so we project on people and we protect ourselves and we say things to people. So saying, you know, "You're crazy," that's really letting them know, I feel crazy, out of control. I don't know what to do with all that in myself. And so the more a person knows how to process their emotions, the more a person knows how to just feel and let those feelings come up. And sometimes it might be tears, sometimes it might be anger, frustration. The more we're able to let the energy of emotions flush and flow and move through us, we're gonna feel more peaceful. We're gonna feel more released. We're gonna feel less overwhelmed. And when a person's crying at Target, you know, when sometimes a baby's crying, we've all been there where you're in the market or you're in the movie and the one baby cries and everybody's angry. You know, it's as though we cannot hold space for our inner child, for that little person inside that maybe didn't get to cry it out. And so when someone calls you crazy or when someone is like trying to control you, it's really important for us to not take it personally, okay? It's never about you. And so what you can do in that moment is take a deep breath, put your hand on your chest. If somebody's barking at you, and just say in your mind, compassion, compassion, acceptance. However, you don't have to stay there and let someone yell at you and call you crazy, right? You can say, I don't appreciate the words that you're using right now towards me. That's unacceptable. But you stay calm. I will walk away now because I will not interact in this type of relating. I have a standard that this is not how I relate with people. That's my standard. And so this is unacceptable for me. And that's it. You make it about yourself. Okay? So you're taking charge, you're owning your sovereignty. This is not your level of standard of communication. You are calming yourself, because if someone else is like that, that's going to probably affect you, right? So then you elevate yourself. You do not take it personally. They're doing their best. It doesn't make it right, but have compassion. And guess what, folks? Most of the people on the planet, especially in the United States, there's a lot of not emotional comfortableness. There's a lot of frozen, depressed, anxiety. You know, these are rampant in our culture. And we as a culture in America are struggling to emote and feel. And we numb ourselves out with porn, sex, food, drugs, alcohol. You know, we've been coping in ways that have helped us through addictions, right? But there's a lot of suffering because that's not a healthy way of coping. It's not a way that's actually aligned with what we really are, which is love, which is connection, which is thriving through adversity. And so as a collective, many of us, the norm has been to suppress it, to hold back our power. And so our vulnerability is our power. So we can take a deep breath of love and compassion and feel all that. You can actually feel their suffering. So how could you really get mad at that person? Someone who's telling you crazy, somebody who's not able to even be calm amidst your storm, lets you know that they cannot be that for themselves. And so if we're going to be the wow women of abundance, and we're going to be the space holders and create that peace, we have to come back to our hearts in those moments when we feel the triggers, right? And then we ask ourselves, based on my standards, what do I decide to do about this person that's barking at me? Okay? And you just share what your standards are. And you leave that space if you need to. That's it. And imagine a world where women are grounded and they're able to process and they're able to speak calmly, where women do not have to raise their voice and yell back, because that's not empowering us and that's not helping the relationship, where we could just calm ourselves down first and then speak from our hearts and own our standards of what we're creating in our relationships. And if that person's not able to step it up to that level of your standards, that's it. We're abundant. So we don't have to try to make it work. It's not at our level. That's it. So there's something better that's coming along because we're demanding more of ourselves, which is going to cause that person, if they're really meant to be with us, that person's going to step it up too. Because that's what love does. Love demands more of us. When there really is love and respect, it will just create more of a higher level of interaction where there is love. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear. What's coming up for you after I share all of that? If anybody wants to share, go ahead.